Whoa, that was loud. Just be what you are. So today's video is very simple. Here to help dissolve some seeming problems through some things I've learned, which are very simple. But don't let the simplicity fool you, for it's in the very simplicity that the effectiveness lies, but also the ego's defense mechanisms. Rely on the simplicity, and they like to excuse it because it's so simple. Okay, what are you talking about? I don't really know what I'm talking about. We'll find out in this video, won't we? So, it is only necessary to be what you are. What is your most natural state? So, let's define what a natural state is. So, by definition, we'll say that the most natural state is when you release everything, when you let go of everything, what is left underneath? So when you let go of everything, so when there's no thoughts, when there aren't any opinions, any judgments, when there aren't any feelings, is this even possible? What is left? To me, this is what we will define as the most natural state. So just be what you are. What we're talking about here is being what you are by letting go of what you are not. So what are you not? Maybe that's probably the best way to start this. What are you not? Well, you're not your feelings. Actually, you're not the feelings. Feelings change. A feeling comes and a feeling goes. But in what is that feeling contained? What allows you to know that you have a feeling? So you can't be a feeling because feelings come and go, but there's still something that prevails. What about thoughts? Well, you can be in a thoughtless state and there is still something that prevails. Let's think of a really beautiful moment you've had in your life. Maybe a really beautiful sunset. Something profoundly beautiful is usually, for me at least, where the thoughtlessness lies. Or maybe you've forgotten something. Or maybe you think, how can it be without thoughts? How can I be without thoughts and stories and stuff? Like, I don't even know what that is. Yes, you do. Everyone knows what it is. It's just about remembering it and recognizing it. So just when you wake up, or maybe when you're having a nap, there's this entranced state where it's like you don't really know who you are, or at least you have no memory and no conceptualization of who you are. Usually you're like, I am Nick, 22 years old, male, qualities, attributes, list goes on. Same thing goes for you. But that's really just a concept, it's really just a story, right? And where we can recognize that is just when you wake up, just that period, the first moment you wake up, there is no memory of what you are. There is no conceptual framework of what you are. It actually kicks in. It's like the software kicks in after a while. It's like booting up. Okay, there you go. There's the memory file found. This is the personality. So this is who I am today. This is my likes, my dislikes. But there's a really short moment, which you have to be careful. If you look for it, you'll see it now. So if you actually look for it, you'll see that moment. So that's that moment of, what is it? It's like a peace, isn't it? You don't have any worries. You don't have any problems. You haven't remembered your problems of the day yet. You haven't remembered the worries. So that would be your most natural state. I think, for me at least, that's as close as we can get. That and moments of extreme beauty where everything is just so beautiful. I mean, really beautiful. So beautiful that there's obviously nothing to say. And in those moments where we don't say anything, we don't really feel anything. I mean, it's not a feeling. It's more of an awareness of the beauty and a profoundness. If anything, it's close to a bliss, but not as a feeling, not as a sensory experience, as something else, something that's hard for me to put to words. as anything other than awareness. So that's the most natural state. So just to be yourself, you see, it's already 5 minutes. I mean, you think it'd be pretty simple. It is really simple, but I find that it's really helpful to just go into it, really expand into it. So being just what you are entails being that conceptless awareness that doesn't say anything, that doesn't have any conceptual identity, that just is. That is being what you are. And so anything that isn't that, anything that says anything about yourself is not what you are. So any story you tell yourself, any rationalization, any explanation to what you are feeling right now, to why you are the way you are, all these concepts, it's really popular, especially in spirituality, have lots of concepts, lots of frameworks about this is what's going to happen. I met someone talking about galactic wars. There's lots of this, what I would call spiritual fantasy. But that takes away from the core. Whether it's got any basis in reality is actually irrelevant. What's relevant is that it takes away from the core of spiritual work. The core of spiritual work is to return to this state of conceptlessness, of just being. So this, hopefully we've kind of moved into the depths, is what I mean by it's just necessary to be what you are. And when you just are this, then there are no worries because there are no concepts. Worries, if you investigate it, you ask, where am I? Like, what is it that's worried? Where are worries being experienced? Are they being experienced here, physically? Or are they being experienced mentally as a mental construct, as imagination? So when you remove the conceptual layer and you move into the isness, just everything is what it is, there are no worries. Everything just is what it is. Even a feeling that might be bad, that might be unwanted, when you just let it be there as it is, it doesn't bother you anymore. So it just comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. It comes and it goes, but there's something that prevails. So the way to really, in my own experiences, move through the suffering most conducively to help come to a place of joy and peace is to just look for that prevailing state. You don't even have to call it an I. What is that prevailing state? And really just let go of all the conceptual layers, which sounds, it's one thing to say that, but then it's a whole other thing to actually do it. And it is hard. Probably the most difficult challenge of my life. And so for that, the path that I'm aware of, I'll just let you know, I follow the teachings of David R Hawkins. And he tells us the fastest way to enlightenment, based on my own memory, so I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. The fastest way to enlightenment is to understand the ego. And when you understand the ego, you see it for what it is, and you can befriend it, master it, take ownership of it like a pet. And you can start to see all these concept forming activities. And when you understand them, you know what they're about. It's kind of like, to me at least, when you have, that illusion, the rabbit or the duck. Is it a rabbit or is it a duck? Depends on how you look at it. Oh, well, now that you know that, now it's like, well, it looks like a rabbit, but I also know it could look like a duck. So it's like that illusion doesn't entrance you anymore. Well, to me, it's the same sense with the illusions of the mind. When you understand what they're about, how they operate, then they lose their grip on you because you know what it's about. You're like, I understand this. I'm familiar with this. I know what you're doing. It just doesn't entrance you anymore. And it's like it progressively drops off. And you progressively return to that state of what you are, of being what you are. So to me, okay, it's one thing to say it, but how do you actually do it? Understanding the ego, the path of understanding, is extremely powerful, especially for the modern intellect. And the only teacher I know who really goes into depth into the ego, understanding it in ways that, as far as I know, am aware of, are the most comprehensive available in the world right now, is David Hawkins' lectures. And I'm only saying that so that you understand that there is this way. There is this way to dissolve the ego by understanding it and returning to that state that you are naturally, spontaneously, automatically, by virtue of understanding the obstacles, understanding the nature of consciousness, understanding how the ego came to be what it is, understanding the concept forming activities of the mind and how they come about. Then it's like you automatically now, you're like, aha, and you're like, I'll try to describe it the best I can. It's like, at least for me, I just find myself that I've dropped back into the observer seat by doing nothing else than understanding, really. Like, not even much meditation. Really, meditation is only something recent. The primary thing has been understanding via the path of understanding, as presented in David Hawkins' lectures, which you can find on Audible by typing in David R Hawkins, and through contemplation, which is also what David Hawkins recommends. So anyway, I think that's enough for this video. Just want to make this spontaneous one so that you know it's here. Just to sum it up, I just want to make it really clear. I'm a bit low on batteries here. Just want to make it really clear. So that, you know, it's one thing to say, drop back into being, just be the observer, just witness everything as it is. But then, you know, actually going about it is something completely different. And one way, which has been really effective for me and extremely rapid in my own experiences, because it's very direct. Just listening to lectures, he says in his lectures, you know, just listening to this material elevates your consciousness, allows you to see it. And he actually, via muscle testing, calibrates it on stage. So that's why I'm saying it's really good for the intellect, because you can see these muscle tests happening and you can absolutely verify that what is being said is true. Now, if you want to learn about that, that's a whole other thing. You can comment that, but for now, you'll just have to take my word for it. I'm just saying it's a really good path for the Western mind, which has been amazing for me, and allowed me to drop back into just being the observer. I'm still learning, still dropping back, letting go, but it's amazing. I live in a beautiful space of joy, laughter, and beauty, extreme beauty, that expands, that is very expansive and continues to expand. And I'd love for you to experience that also. That would be incredible. You could live in this essentially like a psychedelic high all the time, quite close to that bliss, in my own experiences. And it expands and expands and expands every day. It expands. It's very beautiful, very peaceful, very joyous, at least in my own experiences. Everyone's path is unique. I just want to let you know that this exists as an option to you. I like to do things practically. This is a very practical way of going about it. Thank you for watching this 14-minute video. If you enjoyed it, you can leave a like, a comment, subscribe, click the bell button. See you next time. Thank you very much for spending 14 minutes with me. Let me know how the camera thing is for you. You see how it's like moving? I can see it's kind of getting, maybe I'll have to stabilize it. Anyway, that's for me to work out. See you next time.